Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here on this Valley News Now desk. See, I'm giving you a look here at our sky cam at the Dakota Magic Casino. That's just near the South Dakota border. You can see the sky cam as well as those flags shaking in the wind down there. And we do have some clouds moving on in. It's looking awfully gloomy out there to start off our Thursday. Well, again, thanks so much for joining us here. My name is Alex Larson, and happy Thursday. Well, we got a lot going on as the tides turn in the weather department today. So I'm going to kick this off by taking you straight over to our website. I'm going to pull this up quick, see what I've got going on. All right, we're going to head on over to valleynewslive.com here. Here we go. Go on over to the weather tab. Looks like tracking severe storm potential Thursday and rain on Friday. So lots of change coming. Still sitting at 70 degrees right here in Fargo. So not looking relatively bad by any means, but it's looking like we do have that rain, thunderstorms that our first alert storm team has been getting you ready for all week. And you can see as we click on our 11-day planner here, we're going to hop down into the 50s tomorrow. Big change from that 90 we were seeing these past few days. I don't know if you're anything like me, but my sunburn is ready for these 50, 60 degree temperatures. Looks like we're going to stay a little bit breezy, but if you are in for those warmer temperatures, hope is in sight. Looks like 71 by next Sunday. So again, we do have those available for you on our website, valleynewslive.com. But another good tool to have, we do have our VNL weather app. Remember, our first alert storm team works really hard to keep you updated. You can get those forecasts right at your fingertips. And you can have that right in the palm of your hand. It'll follow you wherever you need to go. They post videos throughout the day, too, to keep you updated on what's going on in your area and what you need to know before you head out the door. Pretty interesting there. Free to download, easy to use. So we're going to head on into news now. We had a news story this morning, a pickup and two UTVs. Looked like they were a total loss after a fire last night. Ottertail County Sheriff's Office says they were called just before 9 p.m. for a report of a vehicle fire north of New York Mills. When fire crews and deputies got there, they found the vehicles fully engulfed in flames. Officials say a nearby garage is sustaining minor damage. Nobody's hurt, thankfully. That caused the fire, though, that is under investigation. And authorities are investigating after a fatal incident on the Lake Traverse Reservation in South Dakota. According to tribal leaders, that incident happened Tuesday, and it involves a member of the tribe and a non-tribal individual. We don't have any details right now, but we are told that there is no threat to the community. Local and federal law enforcement are investigating that incident. Over in Jamestown, a woman who was just released from prison on Tuesday is now behind bars again after fleeing a traffic stop. Jamestown police say an officer tried to pull over 39-year-old Brianna Oretta. She's right there on your screen right now. That happened at about 1 p.m. yesterday for several traffic violations. They say she drove off for several blocks without stopping. She did eventually pull over in the 200 block of 8th Street East. And after a brief encounter, Oretta drove off from the traffic stop and was later arrested on 5 charges, including DUI. We do have much more about this arrest. You can find that over on our website, valleynewslive.com, or, of course, as always, your free VNL News app. And the measles outbreak in North Dakota is continuing as 2 cases were reported in Cass County over the weekend. There is an MMR vaccine clinic happening today that just started up at 7 a.m. It's going to go until 1 p.m. today. That's at the Fargo-Cass Public Health Building on 25th Street near that CVS. Now, no appointment is necessary, but you are asked if you are going to please bring your insurance information. And we're learning more about a train versus pickup crash that left a Valley City man hurt on Tuesday. I'm going to pull this video up for you if this is not ringing a bell. Maybe it will now. 34-year-old Shane Rabenberg has now been arrested for DUI after authorities say he drove his pickup into a train in West Fargo. Highway Patrol says Rabenberg was going west in the eastbound lanes of 12th Avenue Northeast when he struck the train just east of Center Street. Rabenberg's truck was then dragged about 100 feet before it came to a rest along the railroad tracks. He was hurt and he was taken for treatment, and that crash is under investigation. Moving on here, public safety is such a big concern for the people of Fargo, even in an age when many voters refuse to pass a tax increase for pretty much anything. Back in November, if you remember, Fargo voters overwhelmingly approving a 1/4% sales tax increase. specifically to provide additional funding for public safety. Now, yesterday, the city of Fargo is laid out exactly how they plan to use that money, and we got a full folder of information laying out those details. Valley News Team's Justin Betty was there and spoke with city leaders to hear what they think of that proposal. I'm going to pull that up for you, okay?
At the same time.
One of the biggest keys for voters and public safety leaders was adding staff, and under the current proposal, the number of sworn firefighting staff would jump between this year and next from 138 to 145. The number of sworn police staff would jump from 192 to 201.
This will be the first time in a lot of years that we actually can add boots on the ground officers to our force.
To help with recruitment and retention, it also increases entry pay. Police officers' entry pay would move from $63,000 to about $70,000. City firefighters from about $59,000 to more than $68,000.
We've applied a balanced approach.
The city also explained how the plan intends to put aside some money so it could potentially be used if future costs grow.
These funds, as we mentioned in the presentation earlier this afternoon, will need to be very carefully administered so that we make sure that we are planning for the future.
But some firefighters and Commissioner John Strand expressed concerns about the proposal using 20% of the funds for what they call secondary uses, which the city says includes vehicles and paying down existing public service related debt.
In my head, previous debts should be moved over to the debt service should be moved over to the general fund, maybe.
Yeah, that's not, I mean, it's something that we talked about during the campaign, but we were more talking about in the future as we build stations and training facilities, police stations in the future. Those debt services could be paid by this fund. I don't think anybody thought that it was going to be used for previously built stations.
City leaders did make a point to thank firefighters for their efforts raising awareness ahead of the vote.
So I think a thank you should absolutely be sent out to them that we're even sitting here and have this money to spend.
They worked hard. They went door to door and they did the work, and this did provide additional money for us to work with for the city to work with going into the future. So I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to them for that.
So that was Justin Betty reporting. City Commission is set to vote on that plan on May 27th. It'll be a big part in setting the rest of the city's budget. Now, Fargo Public Schools officials are voicing their concern with overcrowding issues at its elementary level. That issue was discussed at the Fargo School Board meeting Tuesday night with talk of potential changes that would only target elementary schools. So the district is reportedly especially concerned with overcapacity issues expected over the next 5 years at Bennett and Centennial Elementary Schools. A vote is expected at the next board meeting. And the community is rallying around a local family as they wait for answers in an Omaha hospital. The Meyer family has been sharing updates on Caringbridge about their son Bowden, who the family says fell off the back of a golf cart on Saturday and was found unresponsive Sunday morning. Now, once taken to an Omaha hospital, doctors performed an emergency surgery to stop a brain bleed. During further evaluation, doctors found a skull fracture and an additional brain bleed, but doctors were able to stabilize that. The family says Bowden is currently sedated and on a ventilator. A prayer service was held for Bowden and his family at Holy Cross Catholic Church. That happened Tuesday night. The family is asking the community to keep Bowden in your thoughts and prayers. Hopping on over to those fires in Minnesota. Nearly 37,000 acres have burned since Sunday as 3 wildfires continue to rage in northern Minnesota. None of those have been contained. Now, the Camp House fire has been burning since Sunday and has scorched about 15,000 acres of land and destroyed more than 140 structures. The Three Lakes Munger Shaw fire, the smallest of the trio, had spread to 1,700 acres, according to officials. Jenkins Creek fire northwest of Duluth, that has grown dramatically from 6,800 acres recorded on Tuesday. Now, yesterday morning, they say that number is 20,600 acres. Fire centered near Hoyt Lakes.
It's taken off, and it's hard to hard to see, hard to watch, but the fact of the matter is yeah, the conditions are right, and I haven't seen one take off and move as quickly as this one.
Skelton says most of his team are fighting the Jenkins fire, and they're hopeful the weather stays on their side for this fire to calm down. And while there is not an evacuation order for Hoyt Lakes, first responders and residents are on standby if that order does come down. Also, Minnesota DNR is also investigating potential suspects accused of starting the destructive Camp House fire, which is yet to be contained. DNR says a group of campers had a fire Sunday. They left it unattended. When they came back, the fire had gotten out of control, and they reported it to authorities and are likely to face charges. Meanwhile, in St. Louis County, officials are now searching for one person whose house was destroyed in the Camp House fire. Now, according to our sister station in Duluth, Sheriff Gordon Ramsey says that while there have been several people impacted by the fire, they are still trying to contact. There's one person in particular they're searching for, though. Ramsey says they have not been able to find any information on where they may be or reveal their name at this point. So I got new developments this morning surrounding the plans for a second Target in Fargo. If you remember, we reported back in February, Target's corporate website listed South Fargo for a future opening. It has since been removed. So we have actually reached out to city leaders who say the business has had discussions with several city departments, but they have not received a formal submittal of a site plan at this time. We have reached out to Target as well, but we have not heard anything back. I know a lot of people are excited about this one. Don't want to disappoint you, but we'll keep you posted online and on air as this story develops. That'd be huge for South Fargo. I'm excited for that. Well, that's about all I got for you this morning. Remember, we have this broadcast at 7:30 a.m. around that time frame on YouTube, Facebook, as well as our website. You can catch it live streaming on the KXJB stream. When you head on over to our website, press watch live. You can also get it on our app as well. Now, if you were heading out the door, stay dry out there. We're in for a little bit of a change today compared to that wind and 90 degrees we were seeing the past few. Now, again, if you're heading out the door, I'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm Alex Larson. See you then.